Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
Sarah Martinez slowly woke up. The first thing she remembered was her daughter's voice. It was distant, as if coming through water. Her daughter pleaded, "Mom, can you hear me? Please, Mom, just squeeze my hand." Sarah had been in a deep sleep, a coma, for 47 days after a serious car accident. Now she could finally try to respond. She could not yet speak. She could not move much, only her eyelids. But somehow she managed to squeeze her daughter's hand. Her daughter gasped, then cried tears of relief. This was Sarah's first step out of a world most people cannot imagine. Sarah's story helps us understand one of medicine's biggest puzzles. What goes on inside the mind of someone in a coma? Are they simply in darkness? Or do they experience dreams or feel things? Can they hear their loved ones who are speaking beside their hospital beds? Most importantly, how can we truly understand this world that we cannot see? This book will explore this unseen world. We will learn about different states of unconsciousness. We will listen to stories from people who have woken up from comas. We will look at the difficult time families have as they wait and hope. We will also think about the hard choices that families and doctors face. New science is changing what we know about consciousness. It shows us that the line between being awake and asleep, or aware and unaware, is much less clear than we thought. We will discover how new tools are helping us understand the hidden parts of the mind during a coma. This journey will help us look deeper into the mysteries of the human brain. 2. What coma is. A coma is a very deep state of unconsciousness. People in a coma cannot wake up. They do not respond to sounds, touch, or pain. Their eyes stay closed, and they do not have normal sleep and wake times. This happens when certain parts of the brain are hurt, like the brainstem or both sides of the brain. The brain is like an orchestra. In a coma, the conductor, brainstem, is silent, or the musicians, parts of the brain, cannot play. But there are other states of unconsciousness that are different from a coma. One is called a vegetative state. Doctors sometimes call this unresponsive wakefulness syndrome. In this state, a person's eyes can open, and they may have sleep and wake times, so they look awake. However, they do not show signs of being aware of themselves or what is around them. They might smile or cry, but these are not on purpose. They are just automatic body actions. Then there is the minimally conscious state. Here, people show signs of awareness sometimes. They might sometimes follow a simple instruction, like moving their eyes to track something. They might also react when someone says their name. It is like their awareness comes and goes, like a radio signal that is sometimes clear and sometimes just static. Dr. Adrian Owen, an expert in brain science, says these patients are sometimes there, sometimes not. There is also locked-in syndrome, which is different. People with this condition are fully aware. They can think and understand everything, but they cannot move their body. They can only communicate, if at all, by moving their eyes or blinking. They are trapped inside their own body. Doctors use special ways to check a person's state. One common test is the Glasgow Coma scale. It checks how a person opens their eyes, how they speak, and how they move. A score of 15 means a person is fully awake. A score of 3 means a very deep coma. However, this test can be tricky. Medicines or injuries might make a person seem less aware than they really are. Newer tools help doctors look deeper into the brain. Electroencephalography, or EEG, measures the brain's electrical signals. This can show patterns that might mean a person is aware, even if they cannot show it. Functional magnetic resonance imaging, called fMRI, is even more advanced. It lets doctors see brain activity and find awareness that cannot be seen from the outside. Dr. Brian Edlow, a doctor at Massachusetts General Hospital, says that doctors can sometimes wrongly think a patient is unconscious. This happens up to 40% of the time. This means that almost half of the people thought to be unconscious might actually be aware, hearing everything, but unable to move or speak. It is hard to know for sure, and this makes making choices about their care very difficult for families and doctors. 3. The mind in a coma. When people wake up from a coma, they often share surprising stories. Their experiences show that the mind in a coma is not simply off. Many survivors say it was like having vivid dreams, often mixed with real sounds and feelings. Claire Winland, for example, felt she heard and was aware of things through a weird filter in her brain. Some remembered floating or long mental journeys. Others reported no experience at all, like being turned off. Interestingly, the brain sometimes used real-world events in these dreams. One patient heard nurses talking, and her brain turned it into summer camp gossip. Another dreamed of Alaska because of ice packs used to cool her body. Doctors like Dr. Michael DeGeorgia explain that the brain tries to make sense of its surroundings by creating these dream-like narratives. Many recovered patients also reported hearing everything around them, even if they could not move. They remembered family conversations, touches, and medical procedures. One person heard nurses discuss moving her. After waking, she proved her awareness by writing where she wanted to go. Science now confirms some of these experiences. Dr. Adrian Owen led research using fMRI brain scans. In a 2006 study, he asked a patient in a vegetative state to imagine playing tennis. Even without movement, the patient's brain showed activity similar to a healthy person. This tennis test proved some unresponsive patients were thinking and following instructions. This finding is called cognitive motor dissociation, meaning consciousness exists without the ability to move or speak. Dr. Owen's work found about 1/4 of vegetative patients showed awareness. This research changed our view of consciousness, showing it is not just on or off, but can exist in many ways, even in a coma. 4. A family's long wait. When a loved one falls into a coma, families begin a very difficult journey. The first moment of shock can be overwhelming. For example, Veronica Pagani felt her world stop when she learned about her husband's car accident. To see someone you love lying still in a hospital bed, unable to respond, is a strange and hard experience for anyone. Families often spend many hours, days, and even weeks at the hospital. They sit in uncomfortable chairs, eat simple food, and listen to the sounds of medical machines. They learn to notice small changes in their loved one, like a shift in breathing or a slight movement. They see themselves as protectors, watching over every detail of care. They want to make sure their loved one is safe and getting the best help. This long wait takes a big toll on families. They often feel great worry, deep sadness, and sometimes a type of stress called PICS family, which comes from being in the intensive care unit for a long time. The hardest part is often the uncertainty, not knowing what will happen next. It feels like a loss, even though their loved one is still physically present. Even when a person is unconscious, families try to help. They talk to their loved one, play their favorite music, and bring familiar items to the room, like photos or a soft blanket. This helps make the sterile hospital room feel more like home. Many families believe deeply that their voice and touch are important. Science now shows that these actions can indeed make a difference. Dr. Teresa Pape at Northwestern Medicine found important information. In her study, coma patients who heard family members telling familiar stories 4 times a day for 6 weeks recovered consciousness faster than those who did not. Hearing familiar voices helps parts of the brain that deal with long-term memories. This can help create the first glimmer of awareness, like slowly waking from a deep sleep. This research tells families that their presence and communication truly matter. They are not just waiting, they are actively helping their loved one's brain work to recover. Simple things like reading books aloud or gently brushing hair give families a meaningful way to participate in care and feel connected. Sometimes families face very hard choices about medical treatment. Financial worries can also add more stress during this time. But the hope that their loved one will wake up keeps them going. The strong love and constant presence of family members can be a powerful lifeline. It can help guide the unconscious person back to awareness, showing the amazing bond that goes beyond what we normally think of as consciousness. 5. Hard choices. Families face very hard choices when someone is in a coma. Modern medicine uses machines to keep people alive for a long time. This makes us ask big questions. What does it mean to be truly alive? Who decides if life support continues? Important legal cases have helped set rules over the years. Karen Quinlan's case in 1975 was famous. Her family wanted to turn off her life support. A court said families could make this choice for unconscious relatives. This was a new idea. Later, in 1990, Nancy Cruzen's case reached the highest court in the United States. The court required clear proof of a patient's wishes before stopping life support. This made it harder to stop care without knowing what the patient wanted. The Terry Schiavo case in 2005 showed how difficult these decisions can be. Her family disagreed about her care for many years. This sad situation was in the news for a long time. It showed that family arguments and public interest can make these choices very painful, even with legal rules. Today, doctors can sometimes find signs of awareness in patients who seem completely unconscious. This new science makes choices even harder. If a patient can understand but cannot move or speak, are they suffering? Do they have a right to choose their own care? It is hard to know. The idea of quality of life also comes into this discussion. What kind of life is good enough? Some believe any life, even on machines, is worth saving. Others think if there is no chance of getting better, it is kinder to let go. Families often carry a heavy burden. Many people do not write down their wishes for medical care if they become unwell. So, families must guess what their loved one would have wanted. This can cause sadness, guilt, and family arguments. Doctors and families now work together more. Doctors give medical advice, and families share patient values and wishes. But it can be hard when families want treatments doctors believe will not help. Some people also think stopping care for severe conditions is wrong, saying it shows a bad view of people with disabilities. Different cultures and religions also have different views on these choices. Some believe life is sacred and should always be kept alive. Others may accept letting go when there is no hope. These differences add to the difficulty for families and medical teams. Long-term care costs can also be very high, adding stress for families. But doctors say the overall costs for these patients are not the main reason for making such big decisions. Instead, these choices are about what we value in human life. These hard choices make us think deeply about what it means to be alive and aware. There are no easy answers. Families and doctors must talk, listen, and try to find the best way forward for each person. 6. New discoveries. New science is changing what we know about coma. Doctors can now use special tools to look at the brain. These tools show that many patients in a coma might be more aware than we think. Two important tools are EEG and fMRI. EEG measures the brain's electrical signals. It can show brain activity even when a patient does not move. fMRI is a brain scan that shows blood flow in the brain. This helps doctors see which parts of the brain are working. With fMRI, scientists can find consciousness that is hidden from normal checks. Dr. Adrian Owen did very important research using fMRI. He asked a patient in a vegetative state to imagine playing tennis. A vegetative state means a patient looks awake but shows no signs of awareness. Amazingly, the patient's brain showed activity like a healthy person imagining the same thing. This meant the patient was conscious and could follow instructions, even if she could not speak or move. This discovery showed that some patients have cognitive motor dissociation. This means their mind is aware, but their body cannot move or respond. Dr. Brian Edlow from Massachusetts General Hospital says that standard checks at the bedside can be wrong up to 40% of the time. This means many patients thought to be unconscious might actually be aware. Another new discovery is about how sounds can help. Dr. Teresa Pape at Northwestern Medicine found that hearing familiar stories helps patients recover. She studied patients who listened to family members tell personal stories 4 times a day for 6 weeks. These patients woke up faster than others who did not hear the stories. Dr. Pape explained that these stories help the brain's memory parts work again. This can help bring the first signs of awareness. These new discoveries bring great hope for patients and their families. They help doctors better understand how consciousness works. They also lead to better ways to find out if a patient is truly aware. This can improve how we care for people in a coma and give them a better chance to recover. 7. Waking up. Waking up from a coma is often a long and difficult journey, and sometimes it feels like a true miracle. Many incredible stories show recovery against all odds. Take Dylan, a young man who suffered a very severe brain injury. Doctors believed his chances of full recovery were low, perhaps staying in a vegetative state for life. Yet, 17 days after his accident, Dylan's eyes opened spontaneously. His recovery was slow, but he eventually learned to live independently and even perform simple work tasks. Sarah Martinez, whose initial awakening we heard about, also had a recovery that unfolded in stages. Her first sign was that gentle squeeze of her daughter's hand. Then she began to track movement with her eyes. Slowly, speech returned, followed by better control over her body. Each small step forward was a huge victory for her and her family, who supported her every day. One of the most remarkable stories is about Munira Abdullah. She woke up after 27 years in a minimally conscious state. In 1991, a terrible car crash left her unresponsive. Her son, Omar, who was only 4 years old at the time, visited her regularly for nearly 3 decades. He never gave up hope, talking to her and holding her hand, even when doctors said she would likely never recover. Then, in 2018, she started to make faint sounds. Just 3 days later, she spoke her son's name. It was the first word she had said in 27 years. Her doctor, Friedemann Müller, and his team were overjoyed. This amazing case truly changed what people thought was possible for coma recovery. The road to getting better after a coma is rarely straight. Patients often feel confused, finding it hard to tell what was real and what was a dream. Memories can return in fragments. Sometimes they remember conversations or medical procedures they should not have been aware of. The brain tries to make sense of things by mixing real events with dreams. Some survivors, like Simon, had to relearn basic skills like reading and writing. With hard work in therapy and strong family support, Simon not only regained these skills, but achieved great success, even writing a book. Rehabilitation is very important for healing. Therapy helps patients regain movement, speech, and thinking skills. Family support plays a huge role too. Studies have shown that hearing familiar voices, especially family members telling personal stories, can help the injured brain recover faster. This is because it helps exercise memory parts of the brain. Families often bring photos, play favorite music, and read beloved books aloud. These actions help patients feel connected and stimulate their minds. Even for those with lasting disabilities, the love and presence of family are crucial. These inspiring stories remind us not to give up hope, as consciousness can return in unexpected ways and times. 8. The world we see now. We have now finished our journey into the unseen world of Coma. It has been an exploration full of mystery. We learned about different states of consciousness, from deep coma to a minimally conscious state. Doctors use advanced tools, but it is still hard to know for sure if a person truly hears or feels. Stories from people like Sarah, who woke up hearing her daughter's voice, showed us how complex the human mind is. Some survivors heard everything, while others had vivid dreams that mixed with reality. This journey taught us much about the human mind, hope, and connection. The mind is strong and can hold awareness even when the body cannot respond. Hope is a crucial force for families by the bedside. Their steady love and presence through talking and reading can make a real difference. We saw Munira Abdullah, who woke up after 27 years, proving recovery can defy expectations. Our understanding of the line between being aware and unaware has greatly changed. It is not as simple or clear as we once believed. New scientific discoveries and brain scans reveal hidden consciousness in more patients than known before. This insight affects how we think about difficult life and death decisions. It makes us consider what it truly means to be alive and have awareness. Ultimately, love and presence are the most powerful forces. The strong bond between people can reach into the deepest parts of unconsciousness. It can act as a guide, helping a lost soul find its way back to the world. It reminds us of the profound connection we all share. What part of this fascinating journey into the unseen world of Coma surprised you the most?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.